Hey, it is now Thursday, December 4th, 2014 at 3:57 p.m. EST. This is Nattawat Apibal. These past several days I have been thinking that I want to start going back, as things happening to me each day, it kind of lately is made me think back of the individual points in time that has happened in my life that kind of relates to back then and where I am today. And I feel like it's time that I start going all the way back. And even though it's it's kind of hard going back down the old memory lane, I think it is time that I look back at certain emotions that I may not have completely looked at, so that I can allow myself to process them and release them completely, so that I can be completely purified of the old and be with the new. And lately something is so weird too that Kelly was mentioning, which I want to maybe write about in another post, is that she said lately she would wake up around 3 a.m. or something like that, and she would because whatever they are, they're trying to send her messages and stuff, which I didn't really ask her what kind of messages she gets. But for me, I can't go to bed until 5 a.m. as well, and it seemed like during those times my brain would just make me think back about all these years. Suddenly it just make me think back all the years, and my brain is trying to put the entire story together for me, and for me to remember all of them so that I may write them all down, And it made me think of this stone that I found at Nova Recovery Center in Austin, Texas. And when I was holding it one day, I was like, wow, this rock crystal has some kind of energy to help my brain to become more have more clarity, and also allows me to remember or put things together from the memory to put them down on paper, things that I may have already forgotten. So the reason that I am doing this one is because I had a conversation with Judson and my mom on Tuesday of this week. It's so funny too that both of them were talking about how they were feeling dead inside, what's going on with them right now, broken and all that, right? And it, which isn't, I will talk about that in another blog, but it made me think of these two writings. This is one of them, which is called I Kill Myself and I Am Free, that I wrote back in 2011. The other writing was also in 2011. Because to me that year was a year of death for me. I'm not really sure how I would call it right now, but it's kind of a year of maybe the rising phoenix. So it was a pre-phoenix year for me, where everything was everything that was about me from the old is being completely shattered. It was kind of the universe was taking apart every little bit of me, or maybe at least me doing it as well, taking everything that I know, taking away my world, my reality that I was clinging on to. Take it away so that something new can come in, right? And that year, I mean, I always kind of know all this stuff growing up, right? But it was not it did not become an awareness of full clarity of intuitive knowingness of what it is until 2011, where I suddenly understand and see all these things about self-projection, mirror self, old programming, generational programming, transference, predestiny, that you cannot escape, and the pain and suffering of no escape, and the road to wisdom and freedom. And that year I was going through a lot of pain because I have came to realize I guess at that time in December that I am like me and Matthew, like journey is like basically coming to an end, you know? I mean, I always knew that, like inside, like my higher self had always let me know that from the beginning, but I always fight it. But I always knew that our journey was important, but not forever, like together. So when 2011, when everything was crashing down with my relationship with him, with my parents, and with everything that was going on around me, I was going through a lot of pain, a lot of loneliness. At the same time dealing with this like spiritual whatever, you know, awakening and all this stuff, and like I see that I was not free. I see that there is a part of me, my higher self or my true self, was being caged, has been caged for so long. And I would say that 2010 and was when it was like starting to come out of the cage, right? In 2011 was like, it's basically out, but the old part of me is still there with me. So it's like an internal struggle, an internal battle of self between the old programming and the new that is trying to like take over. And I just know that so many things that I was doing, the way that I interact with people, with the world, with my reality, a lot of it was still being ruled by my old programming, my old self, my generational transference, like of beliefs, concepts, and ideas, and how to be and how to think, you know, that was forced upon me by society, right? And like, you know, generations who just doesn't know any better, and like of misery and pain and control and energy control, like controlling of energy, which is a form of controlled love. It's not really real love. It's self-serving. It's self-serving love, right? And I was stuck, like I found myself stuck behaving that way, or like, even though I know that I should not do those things, but a part of my brain was still stuck in that programming, and I would do it. Like, it's like I would run that script, even though I know that it's not good anymore. And you know, I mean, like, mistakes does allow us to grow and learn, right? If we choose to. So I realized that in order for me to become free, like, because that was my thing, alright, all my life, I want to become free. Like, that's like being free is, you know, is so important to me, you know, which is, you know, the motto of New Hampshire, right? Live free or die. And I just know that I need to like rid myself of all these old things that is just not who I am. It's like not me, just being put into me that is not mine. And you know, society always try to, or the system always try to like make sure that those scripts is still part of you, right? Otherwise you just feel lost sometimes, which another good topic to get into. But anyway, so I would say that 2011, to like especially toward the end, I felt like I had no bearing. I felt like I was floating in oblivion. You know, because when you start to like take away all these programs and all these old beliefs and concepts and ideas that is not even true to begin with, you have to replace it with something new, right? But it's hard to know what to replace it with, which is God, obviously. Purity of God. But that, like 2011, I felt so out of place, but I know I had faith that this is my path, you know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'd rather die than live my life in such an old way. And the old programmers, I know it doesn't work anymore. I know it doesn't bring me love or happiness or peace or serenity, or it doesn't allow me to live my life fully for God. And I don't want to be in this reality if I can't be who I am, if I can't be truly loving. And at the time also, I had the capacity to love, but I did not know or have the capacity to how to love when I get hurt and attacked by people. You know, I was still like doing the same thing that other people do, like on the old program, which is to ditch it back, right? So one Saturday, I don't know if I wrote this on Saturday, but on my Facebook, it said that I posted it on Saturday. But I think it was written maybe on Friday, because I remember that I was at home listening to like angry music. I was crying. I was just like, I was so done. I was just like so done with this life. I was like so done with this old, like I was just done, you know, done. Like I want every part of me that was not me to be gone. So as I was sitting there, this writing came. It is a poem, but I find it kind of funny how it just came together. Just like, I just find that was like also when I was like starting to realize to like for whatever reason I can write, and when this idea comes to me, I'm not talking about free writing, that's like a little different to me, right? But like when these comes to me, it just like come within like a minute, and then it just flow, and I just write it down, which it just like made me understand why like some artists, like, you know, they say like the painting comes and they just put it down, and or like when people say they write music, it just come and they just write it, like, you know, like how Madonna said, like she just write it like in 5 minutes and she's done. So like, and before I didn't understand it until like I started to like be able to write all these things, and I was like, oh, that's, you know, that how it works, right? So anyway, my writing, I titled it "I Kill Myself and I Am Free," and it goes: every day that I wake up, I ask myself, who the fuck am I? Why the fuck am I here? Why do I feel like I'm dead and just watching a body doing things and moving through life? Why do I feel like I'm just watching a fucking movie? Why do I feel like I wish I would just never wake up? I need to pull myself apart, find this fucked up programming I'm forced to live by. Take it out, take it out, take it out. Took a hammer and smashed my head open. Took a drill and drained my brain out. I took a machete and cut every parts of me apart. I took a spike rod and slammed it into every orifices of my body to plunge myself out. And I found it, laying in the pool of my blood, brain bits, body parts, looking at me. I started laughing. I found you, ha ha ha. Well, it's time you died out here without my body. And I began to put myself back together, stitching myself back together just the way I want. And I am free. And that's how I felt what was going on in 2011. Toward like all year. And like I felt like during the end of that year it was starting to happen. Like all this pulling myself apart, like years of pulling myself apart, it's finally coming together where, and it's just like the final moment of just like having the courage to let it all go, to cut it all apart, you know. Okay. This is Nattawat. More stuff to do.